Hey everybody, it's Gussy Dupp here for 420 Tarot. I'm glad you can join me on this Tuesday afternoon, evening, depending on where you are. I guess it's probably maybe morning time for some of you as well. Uh, Anyways, regardless of that, it's 420 somewhere, right? At least that's what the story says. So glad you're here. Please take a minute to get yourself settled, and if you can, like or comment or share this. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel, and maybe one of these days we'll actually put a link in the comments below. But for now, it's just little old Tarot Tuesday, 420 Tarot. And you might notice I've got some new purple in my hair today, so I'm feeling mighty fine. Patch helped me do this and bring a little color into my space. So was thinking about that today. I was thinking about it because I was writing a piece for a blog entry about choosing happy. And I was thinking about how easy it is to let our gray days, and by gray I don't mean, gray witch days. I mean those days where it just seems to lack vibrancy. It's easy to let those days kind of multiply and drag on, especially depending on where you live. If you live in a place where there is a lot of cloud coverage or whatnot, it can be a battle for sure. But a little bit of purple always helps, doesn't it? Or blue, or pink, or burn your own thumb, Gussie. That's always helpful. This candle is becoming a little bit of a resistant these days because it is burning down so far, but I still love it, and it's still purple, and it's still working with me. So join with me now, please. Focus your attention. Just take a moment to unwind all the stressors of the day, anything that came into your purveyance this morning, this afternoon, or this evening to be. Yes, because really, past, present, and future are kind of intertwined together. That's a deep concept that we don't need to go into for 420 Tarot. But yes, just undoing any of that negative energy that is just kind of weighing us down today. Be it a worry that's on your mind, or something someone said to you that you're kind of trying to sort out a little bit more, or maybe you are having some physical problems, surgery upcoming, or something that is kind of on the forefront of your mind. Well, for now, just close your mind. Excuse me. Don't close your mind. Whew! Close your eyes. And find your presence of mind. Find your place here right now. Feel your butt on the chair or the bed or the floor or the seat of your car, wherever you happen to be seated. Of course, if you're driving, don't close your eyes. Forget that. If you're driving, maybe turn this off for right now and come back to it a little bit later, because we do want you to be aware and present for what you're doing, but not sidetracked with other comings and goings that need to capture your attention. So play it safe. It's weird that I should have to say that, but I really don't want anyone to cause any injury to themselves or anyone else because I've told you to close your eyes. Be reasonable. Right. So I'm going to draw a card for us today. I'm going to draw a card to help us toward our next best step. And as always, I have been working today with my ancestors and the ancestors of those that are close around me. I also am encouraging and calling in your ancestors that they may be present as well if they are of a mind to. I'm also calling our divine Mother, Father, God, Goddess connection. I am feeling in touch with animal allies, plant allies, crystal allies. The Fae, spirit guides. Those beings that are here for our utmost and highest good remain. All others of a negative or malevolent nature are cast aside, recycled, so that we may have clarity and insight here as we gather, that the words I speak are spoken clearly and with understanding, and that they're understood, and that those who need hear the words, that there not be any misconception between the two. And of course, if ever you need clarification, don't hesitate to reach out to me. And so it is. All right, let's see. Today's card. I had a feeling it had something to do with thresholds of all things, but I don't know what that has to do with anything today, but thresholds. So when I think about thresholds, I think about boundaries or crossing or stepping through a different portal or reaching a limit or meeting a goal. What do you think of when you think of threshold? Take a moment and just let that one sink in, and maybe a few of you will post something on there. And why that's important to me today, or why that word is kind of at the forefront of my mind suddenly, means that I think either spirit or someone attached to spirit, like an ancestor, is giving that word out here for some consideration. And the card I'm pulling today is quite clearly the Seven of Swords. Here's the card. Do you see threshold in there anywhere? Let me tell you what I see. I feel as if you have spent a considerable amount of time this week and maybe last week as well, maybe even a little longer than that, but particularly recently. Memories of your childhood are like popping up out of nowhere. It might be something you haven't thought of in, 30 years or more, but suddenly it's like there, and it's a memory that maybe wasn't a significant memory, but all of a sudden it comes back, and it's just a flutter of a happy little thought, and it lets you kind of trickle down that path for a while and have a brief moment of remembering what that innocence was like when you were a child. That innocence, that wonderment, that feeling that we used to have about magic before we were told that it wasn't possible. That feeling that we used to create when our friends came over to play. If we had a play date somewhere, or sometimes even at school on the playground, we would play dragons or castles, or, we would play games that would employ our imagination and require a certain amount of belief in magic to even see the realms that we would create. I know you know what I'm talking about. Lift yourself up out of the muggle mind here and just think about that for a moment. Well, that part of you is still in here. It's still in here, but a lot of it has been locked away. You want to talk about thresholds. My life has been divided into sections when I think about it. Sections monumented by moments in my life where something happened to really bring out that moment a little further to the forefront of my mind, those marked moments that really shape who you are. Sometimes those moments are sad ones or hurtful or painful, and what we end up doing is closing off that portion of our memory. That gate comes slamming down, and the next thing you know, we don't remember those parts of our childhood or those parts of our youth, a different era, a different time. We close all thoughts down and we just don't deal with it. We don't think about it. But see, those are still there. And that part of you, that younger part of you, is still on the inside. So I'm just going to give you this thought to ponder for the evening, and we'll come back tomorrow or the next day or the next day after that and perhaps pick up this topic again. But when you find yourself standing on the threshold of a memory like that, do you allow yourself to walk into it and experience the emotions of it? Or do you choose to shut her down one more time and walk in the other direction? Or do you choose to observe it from a safe distance? How is it that you experience those moments in your life? And once you've answered that question for yourself, what is the threshold? How does the threshold need to change in order for you to allow those memories to come through, to open the floodgate and let that happen? Let it flow. Let the energy flow. What is the threshold? What do you need to cross that boundary? I love you. Stay magical. Thanks for joining me for 420 Tarot.